So as a small business owner, I think the saddest thing that you could ever see is your shop boarded up. It symbolizes the failure, and it feels like defeat, and it sucks. Anyway, the Soap and Clay Kidlets and I were inside the shop while Mr. Soap and Clay was boarding up the windows, and I took a video of the Soap and Clay Kidlets watching him put the last board on, and they're saying, "Oh, that's so sad," and it was legitimately sad, and it sucked. It was no fun. But Tacoma is an amazing place. We have these unbelievably talented artists that just exist literally everywhere throughout the city. I mean, you can go around any corner and you're going to see a version of their art in a shop or on a building. It's incredible. And one of Tacoma's really amazing artists, Lovesome Dove, she actually came out and did this beautiful mural on my boards on, the front of my shop. And I was blown away. I was shocked, and it was wonderful. And it was so perfect and exactly what we needed to sort of brighten up 6th Ave, which is normally this big, beautiful, hustling, bustling, awesome part of Tacoma. And it looks sad with all of these shops sort of, boarded up during the shutdown. And just seeing this new mural was so humbling for me, and it made me incredibly happy. I did want to go ahead and make a soap to sort of make sure that we never forgot this time in the world and what that means for obviously all of us. But anyway, I'm going to start crying, and before that happens and before we get too far into this, I'm Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, Sudsers? Welcome back to the channel. This is Soap and Clay, and you are here for another round of 365 days of soap. And today we're doing something a little bit different. We've been doing all kinds of fun soapy things, and I've been trying to keep it, upbeat and awesome because there's no point in dwelling on the sad or the unknown or any of that. But today's going to be a little bit different. I think it's still going to be that and the upbeat and the awesome ultimately, but the reason behind the bar today is interesting. So, we closed up the shop, we boarded up the shop, several weeks ago, and it's a very sad thing to see your shop boarded up, and it's not fun, and it symbolizes failure, and we haven't failed. It's a product of what's going on in the world. And while I believe very strongly in the social distancing aspect, and I encourage that, and I'm glad that we're doing it, it was still hard to see all of the boarded up shops, including my own, and some amazing artists in Tacoma. Like, we have such good artists, some amazing artists in Tacoma. Went down the Ave and they painted murals on all of the boarded up shops, and mine was one of them. And Lovesome Dove is the artist that painted my mural, and she did such an amazing job. And it was quick too. I was actually in the shop the day that she did it, and I had no idea. It was a legit sneak attack. I didn't hear her, I didn't see her, I just saw the end result, and it was extraordinary. And I realized that this really beautiful, amazing, art that existed on the side of my building at this time was temporary, because the closure is temporary. And we're not closed forever. We're taking those boards off, we're opening up again. And that saddened me in a lot of ways. And I wanted to, and I'm still trying to figure out a way to make sure that that art survives. We're brainstorming some ideas to make sure that that always exists no matter what. But for my part, because my artistic expression is through soap, I wanted to sort of make something to maybe cement and memorialize this time in the world, and Lovesome Dove's artistry in my own way. And so that's what today's soap is. I am making my version of her mural in the way that I know how, in my medium. And I can't wait to let's go see. So the Waves of the Same Sea is going to be a 3-color blend, and it's meant to sort of mimic the mural that's in front of my shop right now. And so this is a multi-stage pour. We have the light blue and the dark blue will go on the bottom of the mold to make the waves, and then that will set up a little bit so I can actually work with the batter and create some sort of texture on top of that. And then we will put the sun in, which I have made with a cold processed soap that will go in the middle, and then we will pour the pink sky sort of over that. And for the upper beaker there, we have a lovely scent blend. This is actually one of my favorite scent blends ever. It is a lime with it's like a sugared lime, and it's just delightful and bright and happy, and it makes me smile, just like this mural made me smile. So that's what we are using. I've never actually used this blend in a soap before. We do use it in the Soak bath bomb. That is a melt bath bomb, and it's delightful, but I've never put it in a soap. So that's what we are going to use today, because again, it makes me happy. The kaolin clay is mixed in with the scent right now, and I will be dispersing that through each portion of the batter sort of as needed. Now I have measured out some soap to put the light blue in, and that will be the base of the bar. And then I've also measured out some soap batter for the dark blue, which I will do an in the pot swirl for to create the different lines of the light blue and the dark blue. It's not going to look exactly like Lovesome Dove's with the sort of outlined waves, and I guess I could do that. That would be mica lines, but I don't really like mica lines. It's kind of a pain in the butt, and to me it's like putting way too much mica into a soap. But I'm sure you'll see me make a mica line soap at some point, because they do get made. Now with this soap, I want to make sure that the bottom is reasonably set up, not so set up that I can't swirl the darker blue into it, but firm enough that once the swirl is in, I can texture the top and not have to wait a million years for that. So that's why I took the stick blender to the light blue portion again. And then we're just going to use a stock standard in the pot swirl for this. So we're going to do 4 sort of globs of soap at the 12, 6, 3, 9. And then we're going to give it a swirl with the chopstick and pour it into the mold. Now this particular batter, this particular soap rather, it is made with the basic 3 that I use in my classes. at the shop, it just seemed fitting. The basic three is going to be coconut oil, olive oil, and palm oil, responsibly sourced palm, of course. And it just seemed fitting that I use the basic three because I use it in probably about 80% of the soap classes at the shop. And so again, this is an homage to, you know, the mural that's outside that Lovesome Dove did, as well as the state that we all find ourselves in and how everybody's sort of processing it. So that's the connecting factor to the classes, would be the basic three. Anyway, we are now going to color the remaining soap batter with this pink. Now, I have never actually used this pink before. It is something that has been on my shelf for quite a while, and I love the color. It's so bright and happy and fun, but I have never found a good reason to use it, and I figured this is the perfect reason because, you know, she made a beautiful pink sky on the mural, and so let's make a beautiful bright pink soap that's just happy and fun and awesome, and wow, is that bright. Now, as I was talking about this mica and, you know, how awesome it is and bright and fun or whatever, what I was doing in the video was texturing the top of the waves, and so that will, in theory, create a sort of wave pattern throughout each of the bars, so it's not just, you know, a really straight line throughout the bars. And so there'll be pink that sort of dips down and then it comes back up, you know, whatever. We'll see how it works. And the rest of the scent blend is in the pink, as well as the rest of the kaolin clay. And before I pour the pink on, I am going to get my embed, which is going to be, again, this sun, because she did have a sun in her mural there, sort of, you know, setting into the sea. And so that guy will just kind of go in there, and then I will pour the rest of the pink batter on top. Now, the consistency of this batter with both sides, it's really, really well suited for a pour like this. If it was too thin, if either side was too thin, the two different parts would muddy together, they would blend together too much, and we obviously don't want that. And if it's too thick, we're going to get air bubbles and stuff within the soap, and we definitely don't want that either. So we want it to be fluid enough that it will sort of sink around and into the crevices of the waves, as well as into the crevices of the sun that I created. But you know, obviously not so thin that it just goes, the pink just goes straight into the waves, because we do want it to look like, you know, a setting sun. And yeah, we're gonna let this sit up for a little bit, so there is enough time for the top to sort of firm up so we can texture the top. And then we are going to put it in the oven and let this go through gel phase. Let this, you know, we're going to C-pop it so the colors really maintain their beautiful brilliance and vibrance. And then we will cut this tomorrow and see, you know, how close I got to Lovesome Dove's design, and if I, you know, did her justice, or if I made a horrible, awful mockery of her unbelievably amazing art. So it is day 2 and it is time for the cut. This has cured up overnight and it definitely went through gel. This was definitely C-popped. I mean, look how beautiful that pink is. It's so bright. And like magic, it's all cut up. And yeah, this is a, oh, there you go. Yep. This was a very exciting bar to cut open. I'm not gonna lie. I was more excited to cut open this than anything else this week. I mean, a new bar is always fun, right? But this was a new bar with a really amazing sort of message behind it. And yeah, it was great. I was so very excited to cut into this, and it's just perfect. That's beautiful. It's, yeah, the pink is so pink. That makes me happy in ways that I didn't realize pink could make me happy. But this is, yeah, this is beautiful. I'm completely just, yeah, this is
I mean, it's nothing like, you know, what Lovesome Dove did with the mural outside my shop. Obviously, her artistry stands on its own, and it's, you know, completely gorgeous. But as far as a recreation in soap form, I'd say that's not too shabby. And I am very, very happy with this pour. Everything about that was just beautiful and perfect. And I'm very glad to be, you know, keeping this in my line. And yeah, it's, wow. This makes me happy. And there it is, day 15, Waves of the Same Sea soap. You know, the COVID bar, which doesn't sound good. We won't do that. I was so excited to cut into this bar. I was more excited to cut into this bar than I've been to cut into anything in a very long time. And so I guess for that reason, it was a really, really fulfilling pour. And I love it. I love the soap. It's obviously, it's not nearly as artistic and beautiful as what Lovesome Dove did for me. But again, this is my medium, and this is my way of sort of honoring that and the very interesting situation that we found ourselves in, and that, you know, all of Tacoma found themselves in, and that, you know, the entire world has found themselves in during, you know, this time. And yeah, I love it. I love this soap. I love everything about it. I am very glad to have done it. I am honored that Lovesome Dove did this for me. And yeah, thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed the channel today. If you did, you know, subscribe and do the things. Go follow Lovesome Dove. She's on Instagram and she's great. She has amazing work. And I know that she will continue being, you know, awesome. As for you, continue being awesome. And I will see you tomorrow. Thanks.